Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So ever since I posted my last video, Dear Freshman Me, I've gotten a lot of requests from underclassmen about if I can do a video about my college process, like my college decisions, how the application process was for me, my stats, extracurriculars, that sort of stuff. And so I thought about it and I decided I would put together a video for you guys just for reference about my whole process of applying to college. I do want to note that just because I got into college doesn't mean that I'm an admissions expert or anything, so make what you will of my experience. I just want to provide it as context. Every applicant has a different story, this is just mine. Also, I was way too anxious to actually record my college reactions because I don't know how other people do it, but I cannot have the patience to set up a camera and everything. For all of my decisions, I just opened it like as soon as I got the notification or as soon as I knew it was out. So the only thing I do have is a really embarrassing video of me right before UCLA decisions came out where I looked really panicked, and I don't think I'll ever show anyone that. I don't have footage of my reactions, but I'll just be summarizing all of my decisions for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys find this helpful. So to start off, I applied to 13 schools, and I just have my laptop here for reference, so I'll be reading stuff off of here a lot. I'll be looking over here a lot. So my reach schools were Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, and UC Berkeley. My target schools were UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, UC Davis, UC Santa Cruz, UC Riverside, and Cal Poly SLO. And my safety schools were San Jose State and Cal State East Bay. So I applied as a computer science major everywhere except for UCLA, where I actually applied as computer science and engineering because I thought that would be a little bit easier to get into than computer science. Spoiler alert, it was not. The acceptance rate for computer science and engineering was actually just a little bit lower than it was for computer science this year, so I kind of played myself. But you know, I thought I was being smart. Okay, so the first school I heard back from was Cal State East Bay, and I was accepted. The second school I heard back from was San Jose State University, and I was also accepted. The third school I heard back from was UC Irvine, so I was accepted into their campus-wide honors program, and I also received 2 scholarships. The Regents Scholarship, which is $5,000 a year for 4 years, and the Dean's Scholarship, which is $3,000 a year for 2 years. The next college I heard back from was UC Santa Barbara. So I was accepted under the College of Engineering Honors, and I received the Regents Scholarship, which is $6,000 a year for 4 years. And after that, I heard back from UC Santa Cruz, where I was also accepted, and UC Riverside, where I was accepted with a Regents Scholarship of $10,000 per year for 4 years. After that was UC Davis, where I was actually waitlisted, and the next one I heard back from was Cal Poly SLO, and here I was again waitlisted, and this happened actually in the same week as UC Davis. So after 2 straight up waitlists back to back, I was a little bit anxious about my remaining decisions. Like, I was a little bit nervous. But yeah, so that was definitely my kind of rough week for me. After that, I heard back from UC San Diego, and here I was accepted for data science, which was my second choice major. So I didn't get my first choice, which was computer science, but I did get accepted. After that was UCLA. So this was actually my dream school forever, and I was really, really nervous the day that decisions came out, as you guys might know if you watched my previous videos. So yeah, I was super, super anxious that whole day, but I ended up getting accepted to UCLA under my first choice major, which is computer science and engineering. So even though I played myself by applying to that major because I thought it was easier, but it wasn't, at least I got in. And I remember at that point I was just like, oh, okay, I'm done with this process. I don't even care about the rest of the results because I've always wanted to go to this school. Yeah, after that was UC Berkeley, where I was waitlisted, and I chose not to accept their waitlist offer because my heart was already set on UCLA. So after that were my 2 last schools, which were Harvard and Stanford, which were basically like my really, really reach schools. So at Harvard, I was actually not rejected, but I was waitlisted. So at least I wasn't rejected. But I also ended up declining their waitlist offer because I accepted my UCLA offer. And finally, last but not least, Stanford, I was rejected. So that was my first and last rejection and my last decision that I was waiting for. And so I remember that day after I got rejected, I went ahead and submitted my deposit and my statement of intent to enroll at UCLA. And yeah, that was basically it. That was the end of my process of waiting for a result. So a lot of you guys have been asking me for my stats, and I actually did think about this a little bit because I don't want to contribute to the toxic competitive nature that college admissions already is, and I know a lot of that has to do with like comparing yourself and stuff. However, I did hear a lot of you guys say that this would be helpful, as something to reference and for context. Definitely stats are not everything. Like 100%, that's not the only thing that colleges care about. They care about a lot more than that. They care about who you are as a person, like what your personality is, what you like to do in your free time, stuff like that. So I don't want you guys to think that stats are like the make it or break it of your application, but I'll just go over mine for reference. So I got a 1570 on the SAT, and that was an 800 on math and 770 on English. I took 2 subject tests for SAT, SAT Math Level 2, which I got an 800 on, and SAT Physics, which I also got an 800 on. I got a 1500 out of 1520 on the PSAT, which was enough to qualify me for a National Merit finalist. So my GPA was a 4.0 unweighted. Our school doesn't do weighted GPA, so I don't know exactly what it would have been. So for my AP test scores, I took 8 AP classes, but I took 9 AP exams. Obviously my senior year grades haven't come out yet because I just took them, but I got a 5 on AP Chinese, a 5 on AP Euro, a 5 on Calculus BC with a subscore of 5 on the AP test, a 5 on CSP, and a 4 on Physics 1. And my extracurriculars were, so I'm not going to go too detailed into them, but I'll just list it off. If you guys are interested in hearing more, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video. But I was president of Computer Science Club at our school, editor-in-chief of our school newspaper, and I was also a staff writer for 1 year. I was editor-in-chief and founder of a community magazine where people submit art and writing for publication. I was grade representative for 2 clubs, Math Club and Computer Science First Club, which I later became president of. I was an executive director of a Bay Area hackathon. I was part of a nonprofit organization that provided coding classes for students around the community. I did Link Crew at our school, which is just the freshman orientation thing, I guess, where you work with a small group of freshmen and you help them navigate their way around the school and give them a tour, help them feel comfortable. And I also did a lot of just volunteering at the library. I shelved books and I wrote book reviews, which were placed in the library for other people to read to help them choose what to check out. I didn't really talk about this too much on my college applications, but it is something I did. And I also just journal, so this isn't really like an official extracurricular, but I've been keeping a daily journal for about 10 or 11 years now, and it's just something that I've been doing forever in my free time. So at the end of the day, there's quite some things I've learned and just realized throughout the whole process of applying to college that I just wanted to share with you guys. So the first thing is don't see college as the end-all be-all. Like, don't see it as the end goal. College is only the beginning of the rest of your life. Well, I mean, I guess every day is the beginning of the rest of your life. Weirdly inspirational. College is only like the stepping stone towards everything else you want to achieve, so don't spend all your high school years just trying to whittle yourself away into this perfect candidate that you think colleges might like, because it's so much more important to just take these years to understand who you are as a person, and then when the time comes, choose the college that best matches your personality and who you've become. Don't be a college packer. Just please don't be a college packer. I've seen too many of these people where they just run around doing things that they think will help them stand out on college apps, but they don't truly like to do it. They're only doing it to write it on their applications. And I think that's a really big waste of time, and it's really misguided, because say you do all these things, college admissions are still very unpredictable. And what if you don't get in? Well, then you'll feel like you wasted all your time during high school doing all these things that you don't like to do, and in the end it didn't even help you get in. And even if you do get into that school, it's not going to feel authentic, because you won't really know who you really are. What are your true passions? Like, this school just sees all these things you did and they think you're that person, but maybe you don't enjoy all those things. So please, do things because you like to do them, do things because you enjoy them, but don't do it because you think that it'll help you get into the college. There's a lot of college packers who just join clubs and activities and then they don't do their fair share of their work, and that becomes really annoying for the rest of us to deal with. So don't be that person. If you do what you're truly interested in throughout high school, if you explore all these different things that you like to do, trust me, you will grow so much. Like, personally, I feel like I'm such a different person now compared to who I was freshman year because I explored a lot of my passions and I found new things that I was interested in. So it's really important that you take this time, these 4 years of high school, to really start to explore who you are as a person. The biggest thing I would say is probably to be authentic. And again, this ties into not doing things just for college apps, but yeah, you don't want to feel like you wasted all your time and energy on things that you don't really care about. You want to feel like you lived high school to the fullest and you did all the things that you love to do and you have so many good memories from doing all these things, and college is just the next step towards you furthering who you are as a person, further developing your interests. And then whether or not you get into a certain school is not as big of a deal as it might seem, and you'll start to realize as time goes on that what's more important is not the school name, but how the school fits with you and how well you vibe with that school. Don't focus on the name of a school only. Stats are not everything and they do not define your worth. I used to kind of base my self-worth off of my stats, but that's so wrong. You're not defined by just a letter or a number or a percentage. And last of all, it's a stressful process. Definitely applying to college is not an easy task, but you will get through it. Just be authentic. Be true to who you are, find a narrative and tell that narrative about your life in the most accurate way possible about who you are as a person. So that's pretty much it. This was a really brief, quick rundown of my entire college application process. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos about this, where I go more in depth, just let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys want like a UC focused video, because I shotgun basically every UC except Merced, so I can say a lot about applying to UCs if you guys are interested, or an essays video. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out, comment, or DM me on Instagram, anything. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.